Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be going over the new article, well there's two actually, called Art Deco Detail. So yeah, as you see here, by the way, we have what looks to be a red roof and a black roof. So we have two variants, I'm supposing. Anyways, let's get into it. Experience a true London veteran that harkens back to the Art Deco era with Rivet Games' London Underground 1938 Tube Stock coming to Trains World on October 14th, which is next week, the week after Brighton Mainline. So, yeah. In 1935, plans were drawn up for modernizing public transportation throughout London, including new generations of trams, buses, and new rolling stock for London's deep-level underground lines. To support their under-construction extensions, the result for the later was the 1938 stock, a revolution new design at the time with all the traction equipment installed under the train floor instead of behind the driver's cab, expanding capacity on every service. So we have this image here. I'll go into detail for each. The 1938 stock would go on to having a long-lasting career working on the Northern, Piccadilly, and Central lines, and of course the Bakerloo line, which they have operated on until the 1980s, as if this wasn't a prestigious life enough as is. A handful of sets would be shortened to two cars, adapted for third rail capacity, and painted in the striking network southeast livery, used for use on the Isle of Wight as a Class 483. Where they were used until January 2021, making them the oldest working passenger rolling stock in the country. Combine all this with the fact that the 1938 stock's revolutionary design would inspire future stock throughout the decades. It earned itself an unshakable legacy and an enthusiastic following. By the way, the Isle of Wight is available as well. Get a first impression of the London Underground 1938 stock. Tube stock as Rivet Games take you on a walk-around preview of this classic loco. Now I'm going to mute myself so you can watch this. Now we are on the other video, so now let's watch it.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Community Update. Today we are talking about what went into creating the 1938 stock for Train Sim World. This train runs on the Bakerloo line. Let's get started. With the 1938 stock you'll get two versions of the train. One with a red roof and one with a black roof. The red roof version is the older one, with the classic golden London Transport logos on the side. The black roof version is a more modern version, with the modern white tube logo on the side of the train. We used the Class 483 from our Isle of Wight route for Train Sim World as a starting point for the 1938 stock, as the Class 483 is a reused 1938 stock with a few modifications to run on the Isle of Wight. The most obvious modifications are the two middle carriages we needed to add to the 38 stock. One has a contact shoe for getting energy from the tracks, the other one doesn't. The front of the train has changed quite a bit as well. We removed the whistle from the 483 train as well as the antenna on the top. As you can see, we have two more lights on the front of the 38 stock. The wiper was hidden in this little enclosure on the right, in comparison to coming from the top as it was on the Class 483 version, as well as the different handrails and the added Wakefield flag. Let's move on to the interior of the train, and you'll see fairly major changes to the 38 stock cab. On the driver's side, we added the old versions of the instruments, including the old deactivated speedometer, which was replaced with the version on the top. Changed the seating to be the original one from back then, removed the fan from the Class 483 version, as well as making more changes to the switchboards all over the cab. On the right hand side, we modeled the destination box and made it fully functional in-game. We even changed the way the cab was lit to a single light bulb in the ceiling. Of course, the color changed to the green that was used back then. The floor was changed to this beautiful old wooden floors from back then. In the passenger area, we also changed the seating to be red, removed the new and added the old railing and lighting, and added the guard boards where needed. That was an overview of what has changed from the Class 483 to the London Underground 1938 stock. We hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos.
Alright, so they will be doing a preview tomorrow at 19 p.m. UTC time, where Sam and Matt will preview it. So yeah. And yeah. Here's the cab, like a very small image. You saw it in the video. So let's move on to the next pictures. You see a classic 1938 tube stock and a more modern 1938 tube stock getting ready to leave London Road Depot. Here we see a 1938 tube stock picking up and unloading passengers at Lambeth North from a security camera placed within the tunnel. Here we see a 1938 tube stock getting ready to leave Elephant and Castle, about to head north to Harrow and Wealdstone. Here we are in the cab of a 1938 tube stock, pulling into Maida Vale. There's nothing really to go in detail about these images of the 1938 tube stock, because this is the Bakerloo line, so this is the same route as one of the starter ones in Train Sim World. Now we are on DVBR 187 first screens. We take our first look at a brand new add-on for the popular Cone to Aachen. The DBBR 187 from Skyhook Games. Skyhook Games' state-of-the-art locomotive makes it Train Sim World 2 maiden voyage on the 14th of October. And yes, so we have two things coming on the 14th. The 1938 tube stock and the 187. So expect most videos those next couple days to be combined. Well, the tutorials are going to be combined. Maiden voyage on the 14th of October in the form of the DBBR 187. The most modern iteration of the Bombardier's Trax family of electric and diesel-electric locomotives. Bombardier designed this model, designated this model as the F140 AC3, and designed it to be used across Europe. One of the most appealing features of this loco is that it can be configured to run anywhere needed. Featuring the latest technologies and a sleek new design, it really is the pinnacle of European heavy freight locomotives. Seeing the benefit of this versatile locomotive, DB placed an order for multiple variants of the loco, including 110 of the specific variant. They designated it as the DBBR 187, festooned in the bright red livery that is iconic to much of the DB fleet. The DBBR 187 adds a dose of color to the otherwise heavily weathered freight trains that it's destined to spend most of its life pulling. The DBBR 187 works heavy freight across much of the DB network. It will be yours to control across the busy Cologne-Aachen main line, with numerous types of wagons for you to move and appropriate mixed freight services for you to enjoy it. It will be your job to navigate the busy yards that are dotted along the line and stick to the timetable. Once you've entered the main line, stay on time and ensure you aren't holding up any of the high-speed passenger services that share the line. No matter what needs moving, the DB187 can haul it with ease. And thanks to Skyhook Games, it is coming to Train Sim World on the 14th of October. Take charge of vital freight services along the busy corridor between Cologne and Aachen. The DB187 will be arriving on every platform. Stay up to date with everything on Train Sim World on Twitter and Facebook by following at Train Sim World on Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, now let's move on to the images. Here we see a Cologne-bound mixed freight. This freight is running empty up to Cologne to be loaded. The log wagons will be returned to the logging facility once done at Cologne. Here we see the same train passing over the famous Triangle Bridge. Here we see two DB187s about to start their morning duty at this trackside factory. Here we see a mixed freight heading out of Cologne, heading towards Aachen. Here we see an empty log train heading towards a logging facility with a balloon in the background that is about to land on the ground. Here we see DB187112 on the left and DB187193 right next to us. In the morning sun, 112 is about to go coupled to a freight train, while 193 is unassigned for the day, getting maintenance later in the day. Here we see DB153 again, heading towards Aachen. Here we see DB123 heading towards Cologne. And that is it, I believe. Yep, that is it. And like I said, there's nothing really to go into detail here. So let's just get on to the next one. Before we do that, here are the West Cornwall local achievements. These were just put out on Steam today. Hang on. So, Playable Services for 187 include 54 new services. For Colne-Wacken. For Reset Dresden, there's 112. Hamburg-Lübeck gets 25. Munich-Augsburg gets 27. Hauptstrecke-Rheinwerk gets 20. Rhein-Rosten gets 13. Main-Spessart-Bonn has the most by 193 playable services. And Mersing Nord has 57 playable services. It adds about 20 more or so services to Colne-Wacken. And rush hour passengers will not be available on Brighton Main Line as soon on the exact release. So there should be a fix soon after it releases. So here we are on the new article called More Mountain Railroading. Coming soon, B&O Mountain Subdivision will have a scenario pack. It will deliver more realistic railroading on this extraordinary route. The highly acclaimed B&O Mountain Sub route for train simulator is momentous, with countless captivating railroad experience to be discovered across its 140-mile route. And coming soon is a scenario pack that delivers 10 new challenging scenarios. Known for creating realistic railroad scenarios based upon actual railroad operations, High Iron Simulations has created 10 new career scenarios for the B&O sub that include everything from heavy haul mainline duty to local and switching operations. With the route and scenario pack set in the early years of the chassis system, you'll work yourself at the throttles of 4 different types of classic EMD first and second generation diesel locomotives. With the B&O Mountain Sub scenario pack, you'll be experiencing railroading at its best on both the B&O's legendary West End between Cumberland and Grafton, West Virginia, and on Western Maryland's Railroad's noted Thomas Subdivision between Cumberland and Hampshire, West Virginia. Among the experiences that await you in the upcoming B&O Mountain Sub scenario pack are on the traditional rich Thomas Sub of the Western Maryland. You will call upon a set of Husky WM SD35s to tote a heavy train of coal loads that originated deep in the mountains of West Virginia. You'll work both of the Western Maryland Thomas Subdivision mainstay freights, the East and West locals handling local and switching duties, and hauling tonnage. During the transitional times following the creation of the chassis, it will handle a freight that begins on the Western Maryland Thomas Sub, then switches over to the B&O Mountain Sub for the final lap to sprawling Cumberland Terminal. You will climb aboard classic B&O EMD GP9s to work a cement train on B&O's Mountain M&K Sub and bring the tonnage into M&K Junction. You'll call upon powerful and versatile chassis system, second generation EMD SD35s and GP40s to move heavy coal and stone tonnage across the daunting Alleghenies. You will travel to the iconic and legendary locations of the B&O Mountain Sub, including Cumberland, Grafton, and McKay Junction, Kaiser, Newbury grade, 17-mile grade, the Patterson Cutoff, and more. Over the full-length route of the train simulator B&O Mountain subroute, this new scenario pack and its 10 authentic career routes from high iron simulations delivers diverse and realistic railroading. And yes, you do need the Mountain sub. You'll be experiencing challenging and realistic big-time railroading amid the rugged and magnificent of Maryland and West Virginia with the upcoming B&O Mountain sub scenario pack for Train Simulator. The highly acclaimed B&O Mountain sub route for Train Simulator is momentous, with countless captivating railroading experience to be discovered across its 140 route miles, and coming soon is a scenario pack that delivers 10 new and authentic operating challenges. With the B&O Mountain sub scenario pack, you'll experience railroading on both the Baltimore and Ohio legendary West End between Cumberland and Grafton, and on Western Maryland's noted Thomas sub between Cumberland and Hampshire. On the WM at Hampshire, a trio of Wild Mary EMD SD35s are making a pickup of coal loads at the local mine. With the upcoming B&O Mountain sub scenario pack, you'll work both ends of the Western Maryland Thomas sub mainstay freights, the East and West locals. A trio of classic EMD GP9s have eastbound tonnage in tow on the Thomas sub at Rocket Center, West Virginia above, with a pair of Chessie EMD GP40s are working westward through picturesque Western Fort Maryland below. On the B&O's iconic M&K sub, a quartet of EMD Jeeps are picking up loads at the cement plant at Manheim, West Virginia. With the route and scenario pack set in the early years of the Chessie, you'll work at the throttles of 4 different types of classic EMD first and second generation diesel locomotives. Handling yard and local industry switching duties will be your assignment aboard a veteran B&O EMD SW12 switcher in a pair of career scenarios. B&O 9618 is lugging a cut of cars to the Western Maryland Ridley Yard above, while on another day the switcher's picking up and setting out cars at the sprawling tire factory near Cumberland below. Amid transitional times following the creation of the Chessie, B&O SD35 7406 is leading a train off the Western Maryland Thomas sub and onto the B&O Mountain sub at 21st Junction east of Kaiser, West Virginia above. With the upcoming B&O Mountain sub scenario pack, you will experience a variety of unique operations as exemplified by C&O SD35 as 7420 waiting to lead a hot manifest off the B&O Patterson Cutoff and onto the B&O Mountain sub at Mackenzie Tower. At famed Grafton, West Virginia, dawn is breaking, and chassis system GP40-2 4109, ex-B&O GP40, and Kin have just arrived with a ballast train off the Parkersburg sub and will soon fill out its tonnage at Grafton Yard, then proceed east to Cumberland. In a timeless scene on the B&O B&O Mountain sub, a set of EMD SD-35s have made the climb of daunting Cranberry grade and are arriving at scenic Tunnelton, West Virginia. You'll experience challenging and realistic big-time railroading amid the rugged and magnificent Allegheny Mountains of Maryland and West Virginia, with the upcoming B&O Mountain sub scenario pack for Train Simulator. And yeah, I believe that is it. I'm not going to go in details with these either, but I gotta say I can't wait for this either. It looks very cool. Can't wait for another 10 scenarios of this route. But before we do that, I'm going to be doing the Train Simulator 2022 scenarios, but I did not get the routes for some reason. Those being Birmingham, Cross City Line, Northeast Corridor, Baltimore to Washington, and Frankfurt to Koblenz, along with that French route. But yeah, hopefully those will be out within a month or two, and then we'll move back to the Mountain sub. After the Mountain sub is probably Hudson Line. But yeah, anyways, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to give this video a like, along with maybe subscribing to the channel. Yeah. This is the only video for today. I was going to do a cab ride video, but due to a time shortage, I wasn't able to do that today. Expect, London to Brighton mainline videos within the next couple days. Tutorials should be out tomorrow morning, if not by tomorrow afternoon before 5 p.m. hopefully. EST time, by the way. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to give this video a like, along with subscribing to the channel. If you do, you'll become part of the awesome squad and first 1,000 subscribers club. Also, if you don't want to miss out on a future upload, make sure to turn on post notifications to be notified of a future post. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.